What's up, y'all? Jamal is not going to join us today. His camera's off. Hey, your camera was off, man. I didn't know if I could add you. I was like, man, I'm gonna add this black screen. About to leave me hanging real quick.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. What's up? What's up? So
Ain't nothing, twin.
don't start that. Don't start that today. So as y'all know, it's another episode of our coaching series. We have Mikey, the coach of Rarebreed, up in New York? Is it New
New
York?
Jersey,
New Jersey.
dog. No,
One of those.
New York.
Hey,
Shit, New York. Staten
don't
Island,
get,
ain't it? God dang, right on.
don't
Hey,
get us
he
to
up north
lying.
somewhere.
Do not get us to lying, but we have Mikey here. He's going to be joining us very soon. But we definitely wanted to bring Mikey on. We're going to get a disclaimer first. We had Mikey on. He was the OG from last year during our coaching series. So he would be the second of the five coaches that we have on the roster this year to interview, kind of figure out who Mikey is, what Rare Breed is, and kind of how the whole team came along. But we have a quick intro. We ain't gonna waste too much time. We got a quick intro. So
You was
let's
talking way
get
too
this.
much, buddy.
Bruh, don't start me today, bro. It's not the day. And once again, we have Mikey. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother?
Same old, bro. Good to see you guys as always.
For sure.
Yep.
So I know we're gonna let Jamal start off early, but before we get started, can you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let us know a little bit about you. Tell the people who Mikey is.
Okay, my name is Mike. Oops, sorry. My name is Mike Cuccinello, Team Rarebreed CEO, I guess we call it, right? No, but uh, just team from Team Rarebreed. So, yeah, coach. I also train athletes like Division I athletes, high school athletes. So I'm a strength and speed coach also.
You
That's
got
all you
anything
got?
for us, Jamal? No,
That's
you
it,
can
man.
lead
Simple,
off.
man. I keep everything simple. you know.
All right, Mikey. Thank you for joining us once again. Let's hop right into it.
Yeah.
So, what is your coaching philosophy when it comes to bodybuilding?
So, I come from the old school, so I was forged from the old school guys. I learned from, 13 years old how to train. So what when I first started off, I was a power lifter. Then I met some bodybuilders. I met this guy, Leon Brown. He started teaching me how to train. He was Arnold Schwarzenegger's training partner. So he gave me a lot of his methods. And through the years, I just, stayed with the methods he showed me. Then I started incorporating powerlifting with bodybuilding, even some CrossFit, putting it all together. And that's how I kept the system going. And every year I just try to evolve my training styles, So I found that it worked where we put on size conditioning and we're hitting both fibers. We're hitting fast twitch and slow twitch. So we're attacking from every angle. And the body's never used to the same things over and over. I
All
also
right. So
use like a pre-exhaust routine, which Lee Haney used to use, again from the old school era. So say if you're doing leg extensions, then you go into leg press, and then you go into squats. By the time you get to squats, your body doesn't know if you're using 150 pounds or 200 pounds or 500 pounds. It's going to feel like 500 pounds. So your body doesn't really know how much weight it's using. All it knows is the stress you put it under. So I'm very high on stressing the body as fast as you can and get out. So that's pretty much what I do. And by training like this, I became a lot more explosive myself, and I experimented on myself growing up. And my benches were, I was benching up to 500 pounds at one point because I had so much speed coming out of the hole. So I always worked on speed. So like I found that if you're doing 315 and you're coming in slow and you're struggling to push it up, you're not generating that force, that speed to come in. So if I took 200 pounds, say, and I did it 20 times, I got 4,000 pounds of tonnage. If I did 315 two times, I got 630 pounds. So I'm working 4 to 2, 4 to 1 on it. So I got a lot more explosive. I got a lot more bigger that way. And that, again, that's just my training style. That's my philosophies.
Gotcha. And I guess the first question I'm going to ask, kind of to go back on that, is it's like your name is Rarebreed, and you got that. So what is the, I guess, the mantra? What does Rarebreed symbolize for you?
Well, it's funny because I'm 52 years old, so like I could still lift really, really heavy. So years ago, I was older, and the younger guys like, you're a rare breed, man. So he goes, it's very hard to find. So I used that, I kept it, and I always thought about that. I always go back to the OGs, the old school guys that I learned from, the rare breed guys. Like, you look at the, Tom Platts and all the guys like that I looked up to as a kid, Lee Haney, Labrada, LeBron. Like, these are all the guys I grew up and I watched and I learned from. So, watching them, those are the rare breeds, And if you compare those guys to today, like the Dorian Yates and the guys to today at the Olympia, it's totally two different animals. So growing up, I always followed the old school guys. And it's funny because even like with diet, nutrition, and everything, like I said, I've been around for decades. What we did then is what we do now. There's no difference. But what happens now is everybody's throwing in these fancy words and talking all the bullshit, like trying to trick people. And to me, I still keep it real. I still keep it the way how I did it back then. I mean, of course, I evolved and I got better and I learned more. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, what we did back then is pretty much what we do now, to basic. How we peak now is going to be different, yes, but it's still the same philosophies as back when we started, 25, 30 years ago. Especially in natural bodybuilding, you know what I mean? In enhanced bodybuilding, drugs changed the game, like in what they do now. But natural bodybuilding, how we ate and what we did back then is the same as we did now, So that's one of the things that I always stick to. I stick to my roots. Like, I stay on the roots of what I did and where I started.
Gotcha.
Is there a big difference, Mikey? Because I know you, like you said, you coach D1 athletes. I'm pretty sure you got some NPC athletes.
Yeah.
Is there a big difference between coaching a natural athlete and an athlete that's enhanced?
The training philosophies always stay the same to me, like the training philosophies. But I'll take that body depending on the person, and I change their workouts, to what I need. Like if I have a bikini girl, obviously we're working more hams, glutes. We're throwing her in there 2-3 times a week. If I have a physique guy, I'm going to work shoulders a couple more times a week. If I have a classic physique guy, we're hitting chest maybe 3 times a week, 2-3 times a week. Depending on the body and who it is. If someone has to come down in body fat, the style changes. It's going to be a lot more faster, quicker, and the training. So, I do that with my sport athletes too. Like, if I have a running back or a defensive back, it's totally different than training a lineman as far as the training styles. So I kind of like adapt to whoever I'm up against, like whatever I'm up against. And then eventually the pieces start to come together. And as, I have a couple of I have 4 phases of prep. And then when we get into the final phase, everybody's in the same position, going into that final phase of prep. How it starts in the middle, the timeline. So I have a timeline where I start them. I check them in like a quarter of the way, then, half the way, then 3/4 of the way. And the 3/4 down is where I really turn it up and things happen.
Okay.
Gotcha. And I mean, I'm gonna piggyback on that question because I remember you mentioning you have D1 athletes, high school athletes, and I know you mentioned in Florida you even got fighters, like professional fighters. So
yeah,
like you said, training is the same, but how do you differentiate? Do they all train together? Do they have like separate sessions, or can your D1 athletes train with your bodybuilders, or are there all like separate sessions, or how does that work?
We mix a lot together, like, especially inside the compound. So like inside the compound, we have all kinds of people coming in. We have fighters, we have football players, hockey players, baseball players, and they start young, so we start breeding them really young. But you'll see like right now outside we have like our physique guys are knocking heads with the classic guys, and our bodybuilders. Everybody's all together. There's like 10 guys working out together right now, just pushing each other, screaming, yelling, carrying on. So it's just a great environment. Even the girls, the girls come together. Like you got the wellness girls, the bikini girls. They're all hitting it up, like going, And then you have the coaches like myself, Teresa, Paulie, walking around and we're pushing everybody. So, it's that kind of atmosphere. And then my online people, the same thing. Like, I talk to them on the phone a lot. And like if I see something, I'll get on a call and I'll say, listen, we're changing this up this week and we're going to adapt to something new. So I kind of really give them everything, that they need, the tools they need to become their best. So,
Hell yeah. So, Mikey, as a coach, how do you address plateaus or setbacks in clients' progress, both physically and mentally?
I always try to mentally get into their heads right away. And what I do, like even from the start, I mentally see. I just wrote an article and get a magazine about this. Like when I first meet a client, the second part's coming out soon. But what I do is like when I first meet somebody, I get in their head mentally, see if they're ready, even ready for a prep. And I let them know, like, you have to be in a certain position to start a prep. You got to be, it's a different game. And once you lock in, I don't want to hear shit, I just like, I don't want to hear like, I'm going out to eat with my friends or I want to have one drink tonight or that's not going to fly. Because if you're going to do that, you're wasting my time and you're wasting your time. You're not going to be your best on stage. I don't care, what you think, you won't win, you won't win because there's guys out there that are hungry and they're going to keep pushing. So how I think about that first and I talk to them first and the response that I get is the response I give. And a lot of times you'll have people tell me I'm all in, I'm excited. And then, I can't wait. I always watch out for the type of person because that's usually the person that's going to definitely like fall off the rails somewhere, so the person who's quiet and just says, I want to be in a prep, I want to do a show, but I'm not sure, but I know I could do this. I look more at that person as being more serious than the person that's all amped up and ready to roll. And like, so I find, the steadiness. So when I find someone is going through the prep, like as we're going through, I look at their minds and I talk to them and see what's going on. A lot of times mentally, especially like the girls, they start bugging out. Like, what I mean? Like 10 weeks in and, I need more food. I need more. So I'll go with a diet break for maybe like, 3 days, 4 days, or I'll give them a cheat meal, like double back to back on a Saturday and Sunday. So again, I feel them out. I drop the cardio down maybe, or take off from the gym for 2 days or a day, like, and do it that way. So, you have to follow the patterns of your client of what's going on, mentally and physically. Because listen, it's when you get down to the end, you're physically burnt, you're mentally burnt. So, you have to pay attention to those signals because if someone's burnt going in, I mean, even Teresa, she, with the first Yorton Cup we did, she kept telling me, push me harder. And I was like, I had the foot on the gas, man. I was pushing her, especially because we lived together. Like I was driving her into the ground and, I was basically killing her. And she just kept saying, push me harder. I could get more. And we were working out one day and like we were 2 sets in. I was like, let's go. She's like, what? I said, let's go. We got to get out of here. So we left the gym. We went right to Five Guys. She had 2 double cheeseburgers. And the next day, she just looked like a different person. Like, the energy came back. So you have to pay attention to the signals of what's going on with that client, and you can't be afraid to try new things. Like, you can't be afraid to, try things out. Like a lot of people stick to a book and think you have to stay to that book. There's no right way or wrong way. Everybody's different what you could do, So I'm that person, that the coach that adapts to everything, to everybody, like Jeff Canberra. I was just with him right now, and he started his prep, and we were just talking it out right now, and he started about 4 or 5 days ago, and I just decided to raise his intake already, like and he's like, yeah, he goes, I think we could do it. I says, I know we could do it, so we bumped him up again, so he's hitting pretty good macros right now.
When his first show, what show he doing? Because I got somebody that want to pull up on Jeff. When his first show, Mikey?
He's doing was it the presidential, right? That's the pro physique, right?
In August.
Yeah, he's doing a couple of shows. He'll be around. He's doing he's going to try to qualify for Yorton, which I think he will. Jeff's looking great. I mean, he's pushing now. He's like 195 right now, so he's laying in a good position.
Damn, he weighed more than me. God,
yeah.
no.
He's a big kid. He's he's a big kid. He's he's only 23 years old, so his muscle's starting to mature right now. He just starting to get it. He's starting to get his physique. He's starting to see the lines more grainier look. He had that baby look for the last 2 years. Last year at Yorton, he did really well. He looked really good, but now he's getting more grainy. Like, he's starting to become a man, as we say.
He was just being messy as usual, but I'm gonna go into I'm gonna go a different direction. So it's a two-part question. So one, I want to know roughly, like we see you at different shows winning team awards. Like you bring a squad when you go to shows. Like you bring a massive amount of people. Roughly, how big is Rarebreed? And then two, how do you deal with all the different personalities, all the different like we even gonna say I know there got to be some egos. You got too many people for it not to be a few. So how do you
Yeah,
deal with all that?
well, we got a huge team. I mean, we have 76 pros like around there on the team right now. I think we have a total of like 168 clients right now, amateurs and pros. Um, there is egos, but I gotta say the family, everybody's pretty cool, man. Like once in a while you get a few things bumping, or you get the guys going head to head and like going into the posing room. No, and all fun though. It's fun. But overall, the family, like we don't tolerate that. So if anybody has a problem, basically you're off the team. There's no, because that could be cancer right away. So right, everybody knows pretty much we all stick together and we work as a unit, as one. If we don't work that way, it's not going to work. So there's no wrenches in the chain, and we kind of make it that way. And what was the second part?
Oh no, you answered both parts. You how
Oh,
you
did
do
I?
it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can answer about like the different personalities because you have you like you said you have what every category, you have every division on your team. So
Yeah.
the different personalities of different athletes. How do you manage that and handle that? I know you have multiple coaches too, so that might be help as well, I guess.
The thing that when you run into sometimes you run into like a little bit of a problem is when, not a problem, but when they're going up against each other in the same class, which pretty much happens to me every show. We usually have like 3 or 4 people in the class. Like I think in 3 weeks from now, we have 5 classic guys going up against each other. We have 3, 4 bikini girls going up against each other. We have we have a whole bunch of people going against each other. I got 14 people on the show, but pretty much they're going against each other. And even like last year, last year was a crazy year. There was one weekend we won 32 classes. And we actually were going up on a Saturday and Sunday. We went 32 classes in one weekend, and every one of the classes was our 1-2 guy going against each other from our team. It was insane. So like who you're cheering, but who all cheering for everybody. But it was just amazing that day. And then the day after we did the same thing. Like it was like 15 and 16 class wins in those days, and we won like 7 pro cards I think that weekend, or 8 pro cards. But it was a great weekend, but that's where I run into problems. So when you see them going head to head, and because I love everybody, so we're lucky enough that when they do that, the team always cheers each other on. Even the person on stage, if they win there, who the better men win, the better girl win. That's pretty much how we do it.
But behind closed doors, they're like, man, F this crap.
Oh hell yeah! I got better glutes. I got better abs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that, Mikey? Because like you said, potentially you're going to have 5 classic guys going up against each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but somebody might be better than the other. So how do you prioritize your athletes when you have like 5 in the show?
It's the same, man. I give everybody everything, So I'm with all of them until the last second they step on that stage. I think the last show you were judging. Yeah, you were judging, Jamal. You remember with Connor and Javante, like they were going head to head. They took first and third, again I was backstage pumping them both up. I went right up to the last second, talking to them, mentally getting into their heads. We worked as a unit. They both knew that we're gonna do this together, and they went out together. And whatever happened, they were together. So it didn't matter. Like at that point, they walked off the stage, and Javante got the call on that one, and Connor's like, "Well, I'll get the next one. No worry. I got he's happy for Javante."
That's good stuff. I like that.
Yeah, I make sure of that too, because listen, at the end of the day, like I always tell everybody, man, you already won. Everybody already won that's going to step on that stage. It's just a matter of the call from the judges. One day you might get it, one day you might not. But the overall thing is that you got to the stage and you're doing something that 99% of the people in the world can't do. So be proud of what you did. And even if you're a pro going into a show and you take 10th place, you're still a pro. You're still a pro. You're doing something that everybody's trying to do. if you look at all the natural organizations and all the people trying to go pro that want to be you or want to get to the Yorton Cup or want to get to the Florida Pro or get to the big shows, Mr. America, like these are the things you have to think about. So you already won, and you're at your best, and you should, everybody in the gym is trying to look like you. And I tell them all the time, they're trying to look like you. People want to be you. That's more than enough. The show is a tool to get there, to get to your best. That's all it is in the end. We're not going to get rich off it. The most important thing is to be your best. And when you walk out on stage and you know you're your best, you're going to shine. And that's when you're going to win. You're not going to win if you walk in and then you're trying to force it to win. It's not going to happen.
Gotcha. And I think we all can attest to how Mikey is in, because Mikey even roots for people that ain't on his team sometimes backstage. Like he's just a person, man. So we've seen it firsthand.
But I'm a big fan of you guys. You know that even from the beginning, man. When I seen you guys, I seen Jamal the first time in the Florida Pro, and he pulled his sweats down. I was like, damn, look at that fucking legs on that guy. And the same thing with you, Eric. When I seen you pop up and that chest popped, I'm like, oh man, we got fucking problems today, man. So that's it's I appreciate the work that the guys put in. Like if I see you backstage and you win, if you win that show and you deserve to win that show, man, I'm gonna be the first one to shake your hand because I know what you went through to get there. And you don't win by mistake.
You are.
Yeah. You don't win by mistake. Listen, you do not win by mistake. You can't win these big shows by mistake. You're putting in the work, and that's what I appreciate more than anything. And again, that goes back to, like we talked about before, with Rarebreed, what it means in the old school way. We were work ethic. We were workhorses back then. Like, we didn't know any better. There was no Instagram. There was no nothing. There was no. We did it just to train. There was no cameras. We were just training, man. And we were training with 10 of us. And back then, don't forget, when I competed, I was going up against all my best friends, all my training partners, because there was only one class. It was bodybuilding. That was it. There was no other classes. So we went into the class. There's 40 guys in that one class, and there's only one winner. So there was no pros around. There wasn't a lot of pros. They only gave out one pro card to the men and one pro card to the women. That was it. So if there was 12 pro cards given out a year, that was a lot. And it was the same thing like with the IFBB. Like I used to drive around and try to, I was a Rich Gaspari fan. He lived in Jersey, and I would drive to his gym just to see him train and try to pick his brain or just to watch how he trained. Franco Santoriello, the same thing. I used to go out and drive out to Jersey and watch him. But that was they were like dinosaurs. It was two pros, and that was it, man. It was like, in the whole state of Jersey, there was only like 2 or 3 pros. And in Staten Island, there was only one, and that was Leon Brown, who I trained with. So I was able to firsthand see how Arnold trained and what he did from Leon.
Gotcha. And I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. I want to get into the thought process of Mikey real quick.
Yeah.
So what do you actually get out of coaching? Like, what does being a coach or being the leader, CEO of Rarebreed do for you?
It does a lot, man. How do I say it? Like, it's what I get out of it is seeing people succeed. I love to see people succeed, whether it's in the gym, it's in a show, or in life. So I try to talk to all my clients, or even the kids in the gym, about life, about succeeding, about watching them grow, teaching people that you don't have to get that 9-to-5 job. Go out there and do what you love. So I'm more than a coach than a bodybuilding coach. I'm more like, of that coach that's going to be there for you at all times and talk to you about all different things. And there's a lot of guys that I helped out, like in business, where they were on a union job or whatever, and they took off, and I told them, listen, you got your camera, go out there, become a photographer. Boom, new job. Like, happened twice, 3 times, like, in my life. For me, it's not about the money. It's not about anything like that. It's about watching people succeed and be happy, and just see success. If you think about, like I was on the other podcast, and I said, if you think about coaching and you're worried about the money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. You got to be in it for the people. You got to be in it for helping people and watch people get their health. I mean, when I see somebody, a non-competitor, just a lifestyle client, drop 30, 40 pounds, and now they're wearing clothes that they never wore before, their confidence is better. They're happy, they're smiling, their life changes, their family life changes because they have more confidence. To me, that's like winning the Yorton Cup. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's the best thing that could ever happen. And you know, so that's a coach. That's a real coach. That's not that you know, that's a real coach, not an Instagram coach, not a guy who's just going to be out there saying I want to win shows. The hell with that, man. The wins come, but you got to be, you know, you got to do it firsthand that way.
So just to piggyback off of that, Mikey, maybe it hit you yet, maybe it haven't. I made it. I got this gym. I built this gym from the ground up. Me and my old lady, we built this gym. We're expanding. We got the clients. Have you had that moment yet? Like, yo, babe, like we made it.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Teresa actually, yeah, bro. We you know, the story goes back a long time ago, like, you know, 30 years ago. My mom passed away, and she asked me what I wanted to do with my life, and I said I wanted to own a gym. This is what I love. I knew from the first minute I touched the weight, this is where I was supposed to be. My father said, "No way, you can't do that. There's no success in that." I'm like, "Pop, I could do this." So right before my mother died, I made a promise that I'm going to get a gym one day, and I'm going to do this. You know, so that promise was opening up a gym, which I did. The first gym I had a powerhouse gym, and I failed miserably. I lost my gym, I lost my money, I lost my house, foreclosure, cars gone, and you know I told the story before, but then we came back and you know, coming from nothing again. This was only 7 years ago, dead broke, and we were able to pull this one off. Me and Teresa come into this gym and we say, "Wow, holy shit!" Like, you know, I even come in here alone at night sometimes, and I'll just train here by myself. You know, 11, 12 o'clock. I don't sleep. So like at 12 o'clock, I'll come in here and train, and I'll sit there and I'll just look up at the sky and say, I was blessed. You know, I know you were watching over me, you know, and it's a good feeling to know that I kept my promise, and I never quit. I never gave up, you know, and that's the whole thing in life. You can't give up. You know, so many people give up on trying to get to the goal that they want to get to. So I used what I learned, the philosophies I learned when I was competing on prep, and I took that over and used it in life. So I knew the end goal during the prep is to get to the stage. I had to do the same thing in life, but it only took me 30 years now, you know what I mean, to get to here. So, but the thing is, but if you don't, and that's what never in the rep means, if you just keep going, you're going to get there. But don't quit. Don't quit. That's the goal.
Absolutely. By the way, your team is giving you a lot of love on IG.
Oh,
I'm just looking at the computer now. So
they're awesome, man.
they said that you make dreams come true. Someone said they love you, coach. So you're getting a lot of love over here.
Oh, it's good, man. They're the best people. You know what? It's my family. You know what? It's really my family. Truly a family to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't ask for better people to be in my life. I'm in a position now, like, and again, if I stayed the same with money, if I ever got rich, if I got less, it doesn't even matter to me. You know what? I'm
Come
surviving.
on, Mikey, you rich, man. Hey, you got that money over there, man.
We
Come
spend
on
it.
now.
Me and Teresa spend it all on traveling to shows, man. We spend all. She was just yelling at me. She goes, "You're going to Florida now?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, another $1,000." I was like, "Yeah, we gotta go." You know. So the thing is that, damn, man, it's you know what's funny, man? When you do something like this, it's I can't explain it, but more and more people keep coming in that belong in. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's all of a sudden, like I get, like today I got 3 more phone calls. 3 new pros came in, and I spoke to them and I was like talking to them, and right away it hits. Like, you know what I mean? I know, like, they belong here. Like, it's just they just come in a certain way. I can't explain it. And then you just feel it, man. You just feel it. It's a vibe. It's a vibe of, like, you can't be phony about it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be phony. I'm just being me. And I think people pick up on that I'm not gonna be somebody I'm not. You know what I mean? It's just being me. And when you be yourself, then people gravitate to that.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly follow up with that and kind of give you your flowers as well. I know we kind of gave it to you the last season, but it's like you can tell people who's genuinely in the sport for the sport and who loves the sport. The type of people that attracts people that draw, like, people are just drawn to you. Like, even at most shows, like I said, before we knew each other, you'll walk up to us, talk to us. You'll walk up to random people, talk to them. You're helping people backstage that may not even be, on your team.
Yeah.
And what you just basically, the story you just told us is like, whatever you've been through, you don't show any of that. You know what I mean? Like, since I know you, you've been the same guy, happy-go-lucky, vibrant backstage, and like I said, just always jumping around and talking to people. Like, even at Florida Pro, I ain't had no food, packed, and you're like, hey, I got some chicken for you. So it's just like, or no, you had a cup of rice, you know.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
that type of stuff to keep people on their plan, man. So I just really have to give you a flowers for just being a great person, a great coach, and no wonder why like all the success and athletes are coming to you because they see the same thing that us other athletes see as well.
Yeah.
So
It's if you really truly love the sport, you love the people in the sport. And that's what I'm saying. Like when you said to me, like I go over to people, I get excited when I see great people, like a great girl, a physique girl, or a guy, a physique guy, or to me, I look at that and I'm like, I still get that feeling of electricity. What I'm saying? It's electrical. When I first touched the dumbbell at 13 years old, like electric went through my body. I was like, this is it, man. This is what I got to do. So I felt that. Until this day, I still feel that. Like I still feel the same. Like it's. I still get that charge when I go backstage. I still get that charge when everybody's on stage. And like you said, if I see somebody that looks great up there, man, I appreciate it so much to see someone's work ethic be successful at something, whether it's on my team or not. May the best man win is like what I always say, right? It doesn't matter as long as the best guy wins on that stage. That's all I really care about.
All right, Mikey. Before we wrap this up, I got a question for you.
Here we go.
All right. And I need them in order, okay?
Okay.
I need your top 5 bikini girls on your team in order, and I need your top 5 classic guys on your team in order. 1 through 5.
Man.
I want you to rank them. Who's the queen over there in bikini, and who's the king over there in classic?
somebody in his comments must have asked him this question, so you got to blame them.
Who asked me that? Damn, bro, you really put me on the spot.
I'm just kidding. Hey, don't answer that. I'm just kidding.
Woo, you make me sweat, bro. I was turning red. That was rough.
Oh, man.
Well, I got to say, we do have a lot of new people coming out this year in 24 that nobody's seen yet. And I'm telling you right now, they are dangerous. I got like a couple of young guns coming out, 19 years old. This kid, 19 years old. I mean, wait till you guys see him in 3 weeks. He's incredible. I got this other kid, Tank. He's amazing too. He's only 5 feet, but when you see his physique, you won't believe it. And then we have Javante coming in this year in the pro ranks. He just won his pro card. Really, really good. I got a couple of bikini girls coming out that I'm really excited about. So I mean, the team is definitely getting better and better, and the work ethic is getting better and better. And now I have the opportunity to inside my gym to train people more. So it's the rookies that are coming up are incredible. Like we did a mock show on Saturday, and I was looking at the lineup and I was like, damn, like this is a full show right here. You know what I mean? We had legitimately a full show up in the upstairs compound where the new location is going to be. It's empty right now, so we went up there and it was just incredible, like watching this lineup. So I'm able to run them through like almost a mock show. And I was looking at the rookies, and I'm like, damn, man, this is going to be a good year. So I'm excited for 24. We got some good veterans coming back, and we got tons of rookies coming in. Like it's going to do damage. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You got anything else, E?
I'm good. I don't have anything.
All right. Well, last question, a serious question. Do you find it easier as a coach to have everything under one umbrella? So you train, you pose. Like, is that easier for you as a coach in your team?
I use other coaches for posing, like in certain classes. We use Tina Johnson, Crystal Woods. We use people for bikini. We have in-house coaches. We have our in-house coach for everything else. Bikini was probably the only division that we kind of get other people to help with. Okay. All the other stuff, like Jeff is doing all the posing for the physique guys. I'm doing all the classic guys and the bodybuilders, me and Paul Spano. Teresa does all the figure girls. So I do like to have it in-house. It is pretty cool. But again, you could always learn, So if I watch other people and like you guys, I'd like you guys to come down and do a clinic. It's something we all learn off each other. Listen, we're all in this together in the end, So it's if we could pick something off each other and help each other, that's what it's all about, man.
Absolutely. Well, that's all I got.
That was great.
Gotcha. Well, we'll close it out. But once again, we want to thank you again for joining us.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure we got 3 more coaches, but we always have to have you at the top of our list whenever we get these going because we know you're going to drop some gems and give us
Yeah,
some moments. You
I
have anything
appreciate
for
it.
us?
I just really appreciate you guys. You know what, for what you do for the sport. And you know, again, I was a big fan of you guys even before I knew you guys. You know, so you know, watching you guys even get better and better every year. Like, and I'm always honest with you. When I see you backstage, I'm like, damn, you got better this year, boy. Like I told Jamal when he was judging that last show, I says, oh, he's bringing it this year. He stays quiet, but I seen him. I seen those legs like they were busting out of his pants. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys. Like, and like I said, this is a friendship. You know what? This is like how we did it the old school way. You know, we all stuck together. We all helped each other. We trained together. And if we needed help with even coaching, like I get coaches that call me up now from other teams that have big teams, and they ask me for advice, or I ask them. We go back and forth. You know, one of the coaches asked me about how do I handle all the clients that I have and maintain the family and do everything I do with the gym. You know, so you know, I'm putting together a playbook for him to help him with that and tell him exactly how I did it. You know, my guy Malik Carey, you know, we just went on the phone and I'm helping him now. I want to teach him how I developed the gym and how we did this together, you know, how I did it. And I want him to do the same thing I did. So, you know, we were on the phone the other day for like an hour talking about business and teaching him. I want to teach him what I did. And hopefully he could have his gym one day and do the same thing I did. And that's my goal, like to see all the people in the sport that love the sport become successful and do what they love, you know?
It's all about elevating other people, man. That's what it's
Yeah,
all
bro.
about.
You know, you give out there, you get back, you know, and
Exactly.
people are afraid to help each other. And that's the problem with the world today. You know, it's like, you know, if there's no secrets, like, listen, if I can help you get better, I'm gonna help you. I don't care if you're on my team or not. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna hide. If you're my friend, you're my friend. If I look at you and we're together, damn, I'm gonna help you any way I can, you know? And I expect the same. If you're a real friend, that's what you do, you know?
Facts. But you know, me and Jamal will be up in it's New York, right? We got to get it
Yeah,
right.
New York.
All
Yeah,
right. So if
man.
y'all in the New York area, you got to check out Rarebreed Compound. But you know,
Where
me and
you at?
Jamal will be
Staten
up.
Island?
Staten Island, yeah.
Say it for me again.
Staten Island.
Okay.
When you guys come up, I'm gonna take you guys out for Italian food. So make sure there's no prep going on, all right?
Y'all got some good pizza?
Oh, bro, pizza capital. Are you kidding me? New York? We're gonna eat, boy.
We'll definitely
Nah,
see you soon. But we're signing out tonight. But we appreciate you again. And
appreciate you guys.